let's jump right in, huh? Omar Marmoush to Manchester City. Big money move, right? I mean, everyone's talking about it.
Oh yeah, definitely a headline grabber.
We're diving deep today, folks, all thanks to this article we've got from Al Jazeera.
Breaking it all down.
This transfer, I mean, it's got everyone buzzing, and I want to know why.
Well, starting with the fact that Manchester City are the four-time defending champs.
Right.
But right now, they're sitting in 5th place in the Premier League.
Yeah, not exactly where they're used to being.
And they're trailing Liverpool by 12 points.
12 points. That's a lot of ground to make up.
So this move, their third signing this January, shows they're serious.
Serious about making a comeback, you think?
Definitely. They want to shake things up.
It's not just the timing, though, that's got people talking.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's the price tag.
$72.6 million.
Yeah, $72.6 million with potential add-ons could reach $77.6 million. I mean, that's a lot of cash, even for a club like City.
It's a massive investment.
So what's the thinking there, do you think? I mean, what's the urgency?
Well, you can't forget their setbacks in the Champions League recently too.
Oh, right.
It seems like they're feeling the pressure to, get back on top.
To reclaim that dominance.
Exactly. And they see Marmoush as a key part of that plan.
Okay, so we've talked about the money, the stakes, but who is this guy? Omar Marmoush? I mean, who is he?
Right. So the article, it lays out his journey, from Cairo to Wolfsburg.
Cairo to Wolfsburg. That's quite a journey.
It really is, and with a few stops along the way.
Interesting, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty fascinating story.
So let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay, so he started in Cairo, right? Honing his skills at the Wadi Degla Academy.
Okay.
And then he moved to Wolfsburg's reserve team when he was just 18.
18. Wow, that's young to be making a move like that.
Especially, to a different country, a different league, a whole different culture.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even process that at 18? It must have been a whirlwind.
It must have been. But then, the article mentions some struggles with consistent playing time at Wolfsburg.
Oh, so it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Not exactly. It's pretty common for young players, especially when they're moving to a more challenging league.
Right. So what happened? What did he do?
Well, this is where the loan system comes in. It's crucial for development.
The loan system.
Yeah. So he went on loan to St. Pauli, then Stuttgart, gaining valuable experience.
So basically, he got to play more regularly.
Right, and adapt to the European style of play, but without the pressure of playing for a top club right away.
Okay, so it's like a stepping stone, a way to acclimate and prove yourself.
Exactly. And it clearly worked for Marmoush.
How so? What happened?
His breakout season came with Eintracht Frankfurt, where he really shone. He scored 12 goals in 29 league games.
12 goals. That's impressive.
That kind of performance, it gets you noticed, especially by clubs like Manchester City, who are always looking for new talent.
Right.
They're always scouting.
But goals aren't everything, right? I mean, there's got to be more to it than just goals.
You're right.
What else about Marmoush's playing style do you think attracted a club like City?
One key factor is his versatility.
Versatility, okay.
The article mentions that Texi Begiristain, City's director of football.
Yeah.
He praised Marmoush's ability to play in multiple positions.
Oh, interesting.
And that's a really valuable asset in modern football.
Hold on. For those of us who maybe aren't as familiar with football tactics, what does that even mean?
Right. And why is it so important to be able to play, in different positions?
Yeah, why is that such a big deal?
Well, think of it like this. It's like having a Swiss Army knife on the pitch,
Okay, I like.
Managers today, they want players who can adapt, fill different roles, and change the game's dynamic.
So it's about being flexible.
Exactly, yeah.
So Marmoush, he can play on either wing.
Right. As a striker or even an attacking midfielder.
So City, they're basically getting like multiple players in one.
In a way, yeah. He can cover gaps, exploit weaknesses, create a whole bunch of new tactical options.
I mean, no wonder they were willing to spend so much to get him.
Makes sense.
But what's in it for Marmoush? Why City at this point in his career?
Well, on the surface, it's the chance to play for one of the best clubs in the world, right?
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
work with Pep Guardiola,
Yeah.
compete for major trophies.
Right, right.
But I think it goes deeper than that.
Okay, how so?
It's about his development, his growth as a player. City's style of play, their emphasis on possession and attacking football, it really suits Marmoush's strengths.
It's like a perfect fit.
Almost like they saw something in him, a potential that maybe even he hadn't fully realized yet.
I like that.
This move gives him the platform to really, to
It's
blossom.
exciting, isn't it, to think about what he could become?
Yeah, it is. But let's go back to that $72.6 million for a second.
Right, the elephant in the room.
That's not small change.
No, it's not.
Does that, create pressure on a young player like Marmoush? I mean, do you think it does?
Oh, absolutely. I think it has to.
The weight of that price tag,
Yeah.
the expectations from fans, the media,
It's a lot to handle.
even seasoned veterans, they struggle with that kind of pressure.
And then you've got the inevitable comparisons to other Egyptian football stars,
Oh, yeah.
especially Mohamed Salah.
The Egyptian king, right.
I mean, it's natural to draw those parallels, but it's also tricky.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, comparisons can inspire, but they can also create unrealistic expectations.
And overshadow a player's individuality.
So it's a balance, right? Celebrating his heritage, his roots, but also allowing him to carve his own path.
It's a tightrope walk.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how he navigates all of that.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious, beyond the prestige, the development opportunities, why Marmoush specifically? Why did City choose him?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. If you look closer at the article, you start to see hints of City's strategic thinking.
Okay, what do you mean?
Remember their league position, their recent struggles. They're clearly looking for a spark, someone to inject some energy, some goals into their attack.
So they see that potential in Marmoush.
They do. His pace, his goal scoring ability, his versatile.
We've been talking about.
Yeah, he seems to tick all the boxes.
And there's one more thing we haven't talked about yet, right? Data. In this day and age, data analytics, it plays such a huge role in football.
It's not just about scouting anymore. It's about crunching numbers, identifying hidden gems.
Clubs like City, they've got entire departments dedicated to this.
They analyze player performance, identify potential targets, assess suitability.
So it's a whole science.
It's become essential in the modern transfer market.
So while we're all focused on the drama and the money, there's this whole behind the scenes world of data driving these decisions.
Like a secret weapon.
It is. But before we get too lost in the numbers, I think it's important to remember the human element here.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is a young man moving to a new country, facing immense pressure, carrying the hopes of an entire nation.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
So what stands out to you about this transfer? What has you intrigued?
I mean, for me, it's the ripple effect.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, this isn't just about Marmoush and Manchester City. Transfers like this, they send shockwaves through the whole football world.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what kind of ripples are we talking about here?
Well, on a financial level, City spending this much sets a new benchmark.
Right.
Other clubs might feel pressured to keep up.
To compete?
Yeah, potentially inflating transfer fees even further.
So it's like an arms race, but with footballers.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, that has implications for everyone, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Smaller clubs struggling to compete, young players suddenly carrying the burden of a huge price tag.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. And then there's the impact on national team football.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Marmoush playing for a club like City, it raises the profile of Egyptian football on a global scale.
It inspires young players back home. It can attract more scouts looking for the next Egyptian star.
That's like a symbiotic relationship, right?
Yeah. A player's success can boost their national team,
Mm-hmm.
and the national team's success can elevate the players.
It's fascinating how it's all interconnected.
It really is.
But let's bring it back to Marmoush for a second.
Okay.
We've talked about the pressure, the expectations, but what do you think the biggest challenge will be for him, personally?
I mean, adapting to a new environment, a new league, a new style of play. Those are always challenges.
Of course.
But for Marmoush, I think the biggest hurdle will be finding his place within City's squad.
I mean, they've got world-class players in every position.
Yeah, how does he break into that lineup, earn Pep Guardiola's trust, and make a real impact.
It's got to be tough.
It's a tough ask, even for, for a player of his caliber.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's not forget the mental side of things either.
Right.
He's leaving behind his family, his friends, his support system, moving to a new country.
That's a huge
I mean,
adjustment.
it takes a toll.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the transfer, the goals, the tactics.
But we forget sometimes that there's a human being at the center of it all,
A real person with real emotions.
facing real challenges.
Yeah, it's important to remember that.
Absolutely.
As we delve deeper into this, I'm struck by the sheer complexity of it all.
The complexity?
Yeah, I mean, there's the financial aspect, the sporting element, the human stories, the national pride, even a touch of philosophy woven into this beautiful game.
It's true.
It's more than just a game, isn't it? It's a cultural phenomenon.
It connects people across borders, across languages.
And this transfer, in its own small way, it's a part of that grand narrative.
Exactly. And it's a narrative that's, that's constantly evolving.
You're right. Always changing.
Who knows what twists and turns are waiting for us, in the next chapter of Omar Marmoush's story or in the wider world of football.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right?
Unpredictability.
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, something unexpected happens, throws everything into disarray.
It keeps things interesting.
It does. But for now, I think we've got plenty to ponder.
We do?
We've got Marmoush's journey to follow, City's title chase to watch, and maybe even some inspiration to draw from this young man's ambition and determination.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's leave our listener with a question to ponder. Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
What does Omar Marmoush's story tell you about the power of dreams, the pursuit of excellence, and the courage to step outside your comfort zone?
I mean, it's a reminder that anything is possible, right? If you set your mind to it, if you're willing to put in the work.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one making headlines, pursuing your own passions on the global stage.
Maybe. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back to keep unpacking this whole Omar Marmoush transfer. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. For me, it's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
This isn't just about Marmoush and Manchester City.
Right.
Transfers like this, they send shockwaves through the whole football ecosystem.
Okay, I'm listening. What kind of ripples are we talking about?
No, on a financial level, City's spending this much, it sets a new benchmark, right?
Yeah.
Other clubs might feel the pressure to keep up.
To match that spending.
Exactly. Potentially inflating transfer fees even further.
So it becomes like an arms race, but with footballers.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
And that has implications for everyone, right? I mean, smaller clubs trying to compete, young players suddenly carrying the weight of a huge price tag.
It's a complex landscape.
It is. And then there's the impact on national team football.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Marmoush playing for a club like City, it raises the profile of Egyptian football, I mean, on a global stage.
It does. It inspires young players back home. It could even attract more scouts,
Yeah.
looking for the next Egyptian star.
It's like this symbiotic relationship, right?
Yeah, a player's success can boost their national team, and the national team's success can elevate the players.
It's fascinating how it's all interconnected.
It really is.
But let's bring it back to Marmoush for a moment.
Sure.
We've talked
Yeah.
about the pressure, the expectations, but what do you think the biggest challenge will be for him, personally?
I think adapting to a new environment, a new league, a new style of play, I mean, those are always challenges.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
But for Marmoush, I think the biggest hurdle will be finding his place within City's squad.
I mean, it's a tough squad to break into.
They've got world-class players in every position.
How does he even, get on the pitch, earn
Oh, yeah.
Pep Guardiola's trust, make an impact?
It's a big ask, even for a player of his caliber.
And then there's the mental aspect of it all.
Right.
He's leaving behind, family, friends, his whole support system.
Moving to a new country, a new culture.
That's a huge adjustment.
It can be really tough.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of it all, the transfer, the goals, the tactics.
But sometimes we forget that there's a person at the center of it all.
A human being.
With real emotions, facing real challenges.
It's important to keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And, as we delve deeper into this, I'm struck by the the sheer complexity of it all.
The complexity.
Yeah, the financial side, the sporting element, the human stories, the national pride. There's even a touch of philosophy woven into this beautiful game.
It's true. It's more than just a game, isn't it?
It really is. It's a cultural phenomenon. It connects people across borders, across languages.
And this transfer, in its own small way, it's a part of that.
A part of that grand narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a narrative that's always evolving, always changing.
Right, right. Who knows what twists and turns await us, in the next chapter of Omar Marmoush's story, or even in the wider world of football.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it, right?
The unpredictability. You think you've got it all figured out, and then bam, something happens, throws everything into disarray.
It keeps things interesting.
It does, it does. But for now, I think we've got plenty to think about.
We do.
We've got Marmoush's journey to follow, City's title chase to watch, and maybe even some inspiration to draw from this young man's ambition and determination.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's leave our listener with a question to ponder. Okay.
Okay, I like that. What's the question?
What does Omar Marmoush's story tell you about the power of dreams, the pursuit of excellence, the courage to step outside your comfort zone?
It's a reminder that anything is possible, right? I mean, if you set your mind to it, if you're willing to put in the work.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one making headlines, pursuing your own passions on the global stage.
Yeah, maybe. All right, folks, we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll continue to unpack this whole Omar Marmoush transfer. So stay with us.
We'll be right back. Yeah, it's inspiring to see, that kind of drive and determination.
It really is. And this whole deep dive has really shown, just how much goes into shaping a football career. It's a mix of ambition, talent, and yeah, a little bit of luck too.
Definitely, you need that sprinkle of fate,
It's like a recipe with a whole bunch of unpredictable ingredients.
That's a good way to put it.
You've got the individual skill, the tactical awareness, a little bit of destiny, and then, yeah, being in the right place at the right time.
And don't forget the people behind the scenes, too, The scouts, the coaches, the analysts.
Oh, yeah, they're all part of it.
They all play a role in a player's journey.
It's a team effort, for sure.
Absolutely.
It makes you appreciate just how complex this world is,
It's intriguing.
What started as a single transfer story has opened up this whole universe of interconnected factors.
And that's what I love about these deep dives. We peel back the layers. We discover so much more than just the headlines.
It's about going beyond the surface.
We gain a deeper understanding of the sport, the business, the human stories behind it all.
And I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I hope so.
They've got Omar Marmoush's journey to follow, City's title chase to watch, and maybe even some inspiration to chase their own dreams, no matter how big they are.
I like that. And perhaps, a newfound appreciation for the beautiful game and everything that goes into it.
Larger moving parts.
It's a sport that's, that's always evolving, always full of surprises.
Never gets boring.
And it's never short of compelling narratives.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
So until next time, folks, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep your eyes on the ball.
The world of football awaits.
That's it for this deep dive, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.